As a freelancer, here's some of the things that I always ask potential clients when I'm on a free discovery call with them, and I'm trying to figure out if they're going to be a good fit for me as a client and I'm going to be a good fit for them as a potential freelancer. I love asking things like, where did you get the idea for this company or this project, or how did you get started, or what kind of drew you to whatever this project is? Because I love to get a sense of like, what is this person's mission? If they're working in a company, do they like believe in what they're doing? Like, people who are excited about their job and where they work and this project in particular are going to be more fun to work with. So I like to kind of sense if there's some sort of mission, and if so, get more information about it. I also have all the logical questions that I ask about a project. So after kind of getting to know the person and asking like, hey, like, how'd you come up with this? What's your background? Like, how'd you get here? I like to ask questions about, time frame, like what kind of deadlines were you thinking? I never usually ask what's your budget for the project, because I always think that budget stuff is best left to discuss over email or in like messages. And some people don't agree with that. Personally, I think that it's better to get things in writing when it comes to cost. And usually before somebody's hopped on a call with me, they know what my hourly rates are and they have a sense of my fixed rates based on my profile that I sent them ahead of time. So before we hop on the call, they should know whether or not I fit their budget. So I usually don't cover any sort of budget or money questions on a call, because I just want them to get to know me and I just want to get to know them. And I find that kind of keeping things casual and friendly while still getting into the nuts and bolts of the project usually makes for better calls. But I will ask things like, what is your goal with this project? Like, what are you trying to reach? And I'll also chime in and be like, that sounds really cool. Have you thought about X, Y, and Z? And try to kind of also share a little bit about my expertise. And after I've kind of laid the land and kind of got a sense of them and their project, I will usually jump in and be like, hey, so I would love to tell you a little bit about me and my experience and things that I've done similar to your project. So as a freelancer, you should have a little spiel about who you are, what you do, and what your strengths and focuses are, and some of your services that you can offer, including the ones specific to this project, and then a few others in case they're needing help with other things as well. And that's usually it. I don't ask a ton of questions on discovery calls. My discovery calls can be super short, like 5, 10, 15 minutes. Very rarely do they ever go the full 30 minutes, because I do think that on those initial calls, it's pretty easy to tell. It's kind of like a first date. It's easy to tell whether or not you're going to vibe with the other person. And generally, I don't want to get too into the project until after we started working together. That way, I'm not front loading all this information for a discovery call when they might be interviewing other freelancers, or I might not be the right fit for them or their budget. So I try to kind of keep these first calls pretty quick so that we can get to know each other and then dive into the actual project requirements later. Let me know if that helps.